Hey now, cats, we're back again on the Balls from Ellwood show. And as you know, I am not only a huge horror fan, I'm a huge Terrifier fan. With me today is an incredible young lady I'm sure you're going to recognize. You may have seen her in many shows and films such as Fear the Walking Dead, the recent Hallmark movie, Sudden Case of Christmas. I'm sure most of you that watch my show will recognize her as Sienna Shaw's cousin Gabby in the hit film Terrifier 3. Please give it up for Antonella Rose. How you doing, Antonella?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I am great. It is an honor to have you here. But before we get into all my, some of my Terrifier questions here, I would like to take a little bit of time and learn a little bit about you. Can you tell me where you're from?
Yeah, well, I am originally born in Miami, Florida. So I currently I live between Los Angeles and Miami now. I'm very in between, and then my family is mainly from Brazil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so very I'm from all over, really.
Nice. Let me ask you this. What started your passion for acting? Was there something that you always had an ambition to do? Was it something that you knew from a very, very early age?
Mm, I started acting when I was very young. I was like around 5 years old.
Wow, that early.
Um, yeah, so it's been a while. I'm like a veteran, but I've been doing this. I've been doing it for a while, and it's been my dream ever since I started. I remember I would always tell my mom I would be looking at the movies and be like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do that." And then one day, like I some audition came up and my mom was like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yes, let's try." And it's all just been going up from there, and it's been so fun and such an amazing journey.
Was there a point where you knew that acting was going to be more than just a hobby to you and it was something that you wanted to do professionally?
As I got older, it's definitely started to go into like something that I saw myself doing like for the rest of my life, Like the more I feel like the more movies I like all the films that I watched and it just really made me appreciate the film industry so much. And I started to find books, and I would be like, "Oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if I played that role," and that really just made me so invested.
That actually leads me to my next question. You had mentioned previously you watching films and that inspired you to do, to get into that. Is there one definitive moment or a performance that you'd seen from another actor that you saw and it gave you like the acting bug?
Oh my gosh, wait, I think I have a perfect one. I think Matilda.
Oh, that is a great one. That's a great film. I love
I
Matilda.
was I was very young, and I saw her. It was the original one. Funny enough, Danny DeVito directed it.
Yeah, which coincidentally you were just in the Hallmark movie with.
Yeah, and I told him I loved that movie, and I even wanted to cut my. I had like super long hair, and I told my mom I wanted to cut my hair short and get bangs, because of her. So she was definitely her and Shirley Temple were my idols.
Was Danny DeVito as sweet as he comes off? He just seems like a really, really sweet guy.
Oh, he's so nice. I learned so much with him. He's like an improv powerhouse. I mean, there wouldn't be a day that goes by that you wouldn't pick up a thing or two. And he's just so nice and sweet.
Well, I wanted to ask you too. You'd mentioned previously, you had said to, your parents, "Hey, I want to do that." Were they receptive and encouraging whenever you first started, or would they just think it was kind of like something you were just kind of get in and out of?
My parents were always very supportive. My mom actually used to be an actress in Brazil, a soap opera actress. So
Wow.
she definitely led the way for me, and she has kind of been like my mentor throughout all this. She's been very sweet and very patient throughout this journey.
Can you tell me what your very first role was, and was it scary the first time, and how did you find a way to push through that?
Mm. Like I said before, I was very young. Uh, oh yeah, I guess Candy. Like my first big project was Candy.
I
It was
see. That was the mini series with the about the
yes.
serial killer. That was really good. I didn't even realize that was you until I was prepping for this interview. And I look back and I'm like, holy cow! I can't believe I seen that. That was you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been changing a lot, even like throughout like like a few months could go by and I'll change a bunch. Like it'll go to the point when once I was in the theater of Terrifier when it first came out in theaters, and I was with a group of my friends, and at the end of the movie, they had this like Terrifier mask, and people were taking pictures with it up front. And then my friends, they just decided to tell everybody, guys, this is Gabby. This is Gabby from the movie. Like not even like minutes before, the movie had ended, and they were like, no, no,
Seriously,
that's
you
not
actually
true.
changed that much from then till now.
Yeah, they were like, no, you're just, some kids joking around. It's like nobody believed them.
Wow, man, that's crazy. Can you tell me when you're preparing for a role? Tell me a little bit about your process. Is there certain things you do to get in like a certain mind space before before you're gonna act?
I'm like really big on like research. So, especially if it's like a role where it's like an existing franchise or something, or like a show where there's like multiple seasons before it, I'll always have to watch whatever it is, or I'll always do my research. Like, okay, it's this film, or and I'm playing this character, and I'll always make sure that I really know like somewhat of a backstory before that can really help me build the character from there and understand where the character is coming from. That really helps me to understand the character better so I can portray and bring the character to life.
What do you like to do when you're not acting? Like, what are your hobbies?
I really like to keep myself busy. So I'm always doing something. I'm always taking some sort of class. Lately, I've really gotten back into my electric guitar lessons.
Oh, that's cool. You play
Yeah,
guitar.
I do. I'm terrible though. I mean, uh, I was away for like a month when I was filming a Chicago crossover event in like all of December. So I had just gotten back to it like sometime in January. So it was kind of hard picking up like the chords and everything again, but I'm learning more songs, and I also really like to crochet. That and I love reading books.
Are you ever going to release any of your music? Hmm.
Oh, I'm always writing songs, but I really want to like do some sort of song that I include
Hmm.
like one of the instruments, because I released a song called "With Me" where I was playing the ukulele.
Man, that don't even seem easy. Like, how's the to play? Is that hard? Hmm.
Oh, I mean the ukulele is much easier because I have like kind of like small hands. And I feel like with the guitar, I find it kind of harder because my fingers have to be like sprawled out. But I really want to do something in the future involving some type of percussion or guitar where like I play it.
Very cool. Do people often recognize you now and treat you differently than before you were famous?
I like I said again, I'm in between Miami and Los Angeles. Now the difference is when I'm in Miami, people don't really expect there to be someone that you might recognize. I mean, like they could look like a celebrity like dead in the eyes and you wouldn't really know. You're like, oh, that person looks like this person, but
Ah, so a lot of times people psych themselves out and be like, that can't be. That's not them.
yes. So you would look at them and be like, they look like this person, but they're not actually that person. It's what happened to me when I was in the theater. They don't believe me. Um, and then when I'm in Los Angeles, that's when people are kind of more used to it. And that's when I get recognized a little more. But
Well, this
I,
leads me to my next question too. What's the strangest thing a fan has asked from you so far? Have you gotten any weird requests? Because I mean, whenever you're talking to Terrifier fans, Walking Dead fans, or I mean, horror fans could be a little kooky sometimes. Did anybody ask you, request any weird thing like, can you sign my butt or something?
oh, No, I think that horror fans are very like respectful.
We,
Um,
we we usually are, but I know there's some one time that once in a while you get a weird one. So
yeah, I mean, I just recently started doing conventions.
how's that been
And
going for you?
I'm going to one next month in Cincinnati, and I just love doing it so much. It's very cool. I did my first one last week, and I mean, it's my first convention, so I don't know, like I don't have like a lot of experience in it, but so far everyone has been like really kind to me. And luckily it's no buts. It's just been at the most a Funko Pop. Wait, once at a
You
convention,
did sign a
okay,
butt, didn't you?
I did not sign a butt, not yet, hopefully, and I'm trying to keep
You
that
hear
till
that, everybody? Don't ask her. Don't even ask.
I mean, my mom controls my social media, so I don't see anything that I shouldn't. But
Mm-hmm.
I did once. Someone came in with like 40 Funko Pops, and they were like, can you sign all these?" And I was like,
40.
"Yeah." And every single one, I did like a little design, and they were so cool, and they were so nice and awesome. And I did a little design on every single one. When I would do a little heart, the other one I would put some grass and a sun. I get very artistic with a paint pen, but it doesn't mean I'm very good.
That was all the people behind you signing the 40 Funko Pops. Were they ready to lynch the guy that was asking you to do all that?
I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I had like a wall, and they gave me one.
Oh,
They
that's
gave me a
cool.
Funko of the little pale girl.
Oh, that's super cool. I have one of those too. I
Yeah,
actually have
I
a
didn't
custom
even know
action
that
figure.
they came out with them, and so when I saw it, I was completely shocked. It was the coolest thing ever. I just recently started to get into doing Funkos.
Yeah, I think I was trying to put it off for the longest time because I know if I get one, I'm going to end up getting another one and another one. I'm running out of space here, but let me ask you: is it strange for you and your family when you see the final product of when you say like a movie like Terrifier 3 where you're in extremely violent scenes? Is it weird for you to see that translate to screen?
I mean, there's always kind of that moment of like awkwardness, like between like you finished filming and you're just waiting for the movie to come out. So there's always like a little bit of awkwardness, like you're thinking like, how's it gonna look like? But me and my me and my parents, like
Mhm.
they're kind of used to it, and especially like all the prosthetics and stuff. My mom would be sitting right next to me when I was in makeup, so she'd see everybody getting into all that makeup, and so we wouldn't. I mean, you kind of get used to it. Like, for example, on Fear the Walking Dead, you'd see a bunch of walkers just walking around. They'd be in like the full makeup or mask or whatever, and they'd be wearing like a tank top or like a hot pink tank top. Or remember I saw a group of walkers doing tricks on skateboards.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was super cool. So you kind of get used to them, but they will catch you off guard. You'll just turn around and you'll see when you'll
Here's a walker
a
doing
jump scare.
yeah, doing a grind. It's a.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of Fear the Walking Dead or Terrifier beforehand, or is that something you had to do research on? Hmm.
When it came to Terrifier, I knew about the I when I first got the audition and I read it, I was like, that sounds familiar. And then I was doing my little research thing, and I saw the photo of Art the Clown, and I was like, that's what I'm auditioning for.
Oh, so you
So
didn't even know.
I so I hadn't watched the movie fully. I'd seen clips because it was it is very popular, and I had seen a bunch of clips, especially of Art the Clown. So I had known who it was, but I hadn't watched the movie. I had only after during the filming. And for Fear the Walking Dead, I had watched the original show. I had watched a little bit, like a few episodes here and there of The Walking Dead.
Hmm.
And then in preparation to Fear the Walking Dead, me and my family started binging all the seasons.
Yeah, and then would you just get sucked into it, and you're like, "Oh wow, this is a great show," and then you're like, "I can't believe I'm part of that." Well, can you
Yeah.
tell me what your fondest memory on the set of Fear the Walking Dead was and Terrifier 3 was?
Fear the Walking Dead, I might think, oh, I think my fondest memory might be of like the day that I rapped. my last day on set, and everybody was so sweet, and they were like, like I'm gonna miss you. What was I gonna say? Oh, I was the day that I filmed the scene with like Alicia. For a spoiler, if you haven't seen it, Alicia comes in and she says, "No, I'm not alive. I'm here, Mom. I came to bury you." And I had the cat. It was such a fun scene to film, and it was my last one, so it was very memorable. And that or the day on the boat, that was very fun. Like
That's
I'd be in between takes when we'd be circling back to like the beginning of where the boat was supposed to be, or whatever. Um, I just sit right next to the railing and I just feel the breeze and smell all the salt water and the sun. Well, not smelling the sun, feeling the sun. It was also very nice. And then fear. I say this a lot, but probably the one in the mall, because that was nice because they had closed down like a part of the mall just for us to film.
No,
And
that's cool.
yeah.
Hey, let me ask you, is there a horror film or a scene in a horror movie that scares you to this day? Hmm.
Mm. Uh I recently watched Smile 2. The whole ending was terrifying.
I love Smile.
Um,
I love both of them. Hmm.
yeah, it was amazing. That and The Ring, I have to say it's like one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
The original or the remake?
The mm, I loved both of them, but there's this. No, that's a tricky question. I have to say the original.
Good answer. Yeah, I think they are both really good, but they do kind of have a different vibe. But like,
Yeah,
I think they're good in a separate way. But I think the original still to this day it retains that creepiness, which is really hard to do.
yeah. But in The Ring, there's just this scene where the girl, she has her hair is all in front of her face, and you just see
Yeah,
it
Sadako.
through
Yeah.
TV or something, and that was
Coming out of the TV
fire.
when I'd first seen that, I was like, I was living in this basement and I had all the lights out and I didn't know what to expect. I'd seen it for the first time. When she comes out of the TV, I almost pooped. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, the
So
whole that was one of the movies that I actually had my hands up like right here, and I was like waiting. If
that's still an effective scene, even though it's coming. I know it's coming to this day. That's how you know it's.
yeah, it's like as many times that you can rewatch it, you'll still get scared.
Yeah, it's great. That's how you know it's a really good one. But can you tell me, to you, what is the easiest and the hardest part about acting?
Mm, easiest, I think, has to be. I don't know what the easiest is because it's a very. I don't know what the easiest would be, but the hardest is definitely like, you especially for like the more emotionally demanding roles, you kind of have to put yourself like in that kind of emotional place
How do
um,
you do that?
during the scenes. Everybody has a different method. Um, but I mean, you gotta cry on cue, and especially you gotta scream all the time, so it can be pretty demanding on your body. But it really just helps to have so many supporting people, help you throughout the way, and it really just makes that hard experience feel so much better. Knowing that there are so many people who have your back, and the easiest, probably like, oh, I can't think of one. Yeah, I can't.
Well, that's okay.
Not at the top of my head.
Let me ask you
Uh,
this: out of all the projects that you've been in, which one has been the most challenging? Has it been terrifying?
mm, I mean, they're all kind of different in their own way because it's all kind of different genres.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but probably Terrifier. But that's what made it so fun.
Was that the first time you really had like a role that was that like physically demanding?
Yeah, that and Fear the Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I find a lot that I play a lot of roles that are very like people love to see me cry in a role.
Do you
And so
have
I'm
to
always
think
doing
of?
that.
Do you have to think like how do you prepare for that? Do you think of something sad, or do you have to get in that moment? Like, what do you think of?
It's kind of like you have to kind of put yourself in that situation
Hmm.
and think like how would you react? What would
You're
you
just
do?
reacting environmentally, and that as enough to make you like cry. Mm.
Yeah. And you just have to think about that
Mm.
and be like really think that you are the character. And I find that as I've gotten older, that ability for me to truly believe that I'm like in that position, I think has improved a lot more. And I think more that I practice, I'm definitely getting a lot better. And yeah, I think Terrifier has to be the most demanding. A lot of because of the screams.
Mm.
I would always come home and my voice would be a little hoarse. I'd have to have a little tea, some hot chocolate. I do love screaming though.
I get that. Like sometimes it's good to get everything out. It's kind of liberating.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the best gift anybody has ever given you?
Mm. On the set of A Sad Case of Christmas,
Hmm.
there was this scene where I was in the cellar and there was this box and we hadn't filmed with it or anything. It was just like in the background. And after we had filmed the scene, there was this box and it said clears things. And I'm very snoopy. So I opened the box and inside there's this beautiful like music box carousel
Hmm.
thing. It was red and gold. It was breathtaking. And I remember I had seen one that looked a little similar like it to one of the shops in the Dolomites. And I remember I kept thinking about it, but I couldn't find it ever again. And then I saw that one. And I told the props department, I was like, where did you get this carousel? It's amazing. I love it. And they were like, huh, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to check on that. And then there came like the day, it was the last day for everybody. And we had a little wrap party like right after, a few hours after, and the props, some of the people from props, they came up to me and they gave me the little carousel.
Oh, that was
It's
nice.
upstairs in my room right now.
That's super cool.
That's one of my favorite gifts ever.
What character have you played that you feel is the closest to you in real life?
I always find a little bit of me in every role that I play, but I think mm, probably Gabby.
Is that because she was Snoopy too?
Yes, I do. I find a lot of myself in her, and I feel like I do take some pieces of myself and kind of make the character feel more me while still making the character. Just yeah,
You do a lot of different, type of genres, which I think is really cool. But is there any type of role that you would never consider?
that's a tough one because I feel like I'm open to everything.
Hmm.
I've always wanted. I've done a lot of different genres, so I'm so open to more. And I don't think that there would be something that I would be like, no, I'm not doing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm open to anything, like all the genres. Yeah, I just want to say like I'm open to anything. I haven't really done like comedy yet. I really like to try that.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. Something or I talk about this so much, but I really want to do something that involves like Tim Burton or some style.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
He's directed some of my favorite movies.
Oh, I've been in love with him since I was a kid, man, and that was a long time ago, I have to say. I was gonna say, you worked with a bunch of great people already, like we'd mentioned Danny DeVito. I mean, David, of course, Lauren Rivera, Elliot Fulliam, all those people. All these, even in The Walking Dead. I mean, I could go on and on and on with all the great people that you've worked with. But is there one person that stands out that you love to work with that you haven't yet?
That I haven't worked with yet.
Yes.
I really want to work with Emma Stone. I
Ooh,
think that
good
she's
one.
such an incredible actress.
Yeah, I like pretty
She just
much
seems
everything she's
so
in.
sweet.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I remember watching her scenes and like, if her character was sad, she'd make me sad. And if her character was angry, she'd make me angry.
Yeah,
Like,
she has an amazing range. Like, I mean, yeah, for sure. That's a good pick. And I'm sure you get sick of getting asked all the same old questions. So before we go here, I come up with a couple little things that are kind of unrelated that I thought was kind of goofy and fun. So here goes. What do you feel people do too much of today?
Hmm, I like that question. Probably hate.
Very
I,
good.
I sound kind of sappy right now, but I feel like people just hate for no reason and bully each other for no reason. I feel like if we just had more love and kindness in the world, it would be so much
I
easier.
feel the same way. That's a really good answer, especially right now. I feel like, yeah, I think right now is the most divisive time I know as long as I've been alive, like as far as I could remember. So that's very profound, and I couldn't agree more. So, well, let me ask you this: what's one thing that you feel you can't live without?
My family.
Good answer too. That's always important. Here's one that I always like to ask everybody. This is an everybody question. It always seems to get a pretty interesting response. Have you ever had a supernatural experience, or you feel like you have?
I have a perfect answer for that too. Um, Other than the ghost that turned on my TV earlier this morning,
Say what?
I it was on the set of Terrifier, and it was it was my last day, and I was filming that scene. Spoiler again. If I was in a harness where filming the scene where Gabby falls down into the portal, and
Or she's still alive, right?
I can't say.
Damn it. It was worth
You're
a
trying to
shot.
get something out of me. I
It was worth a shot. Sorry, go ahead.
So everybody, I remember I'd gotten like the exact like call sheet and everything of when we were gonna do the scene like about like a week before. So I was hyping myself up for it. And then the day came and everybody was like, "Are you scared to do the harness and every get in the harness and do the stunt?" And I was like, "I'm ready for this. I'm excited." And I kept waiting because we had like two scenes earlier before that, so I just kept waiting for the scene. I was like, "Yes, this is gonna be so fun." And then I got into the harness and I got up and they showed me how to do everything. Then as soon as like Damien, the director, yelled action, I don't remember a single thing from when I got down from that harness. And I like to call it my little supernatural experience because I feel like I got like so into that character and so into that scene that I just completely like blacked out. And I had told my mom, and I'd come downstairs down the harness thing, and I told her, I was like, "Did you film it?" And she was like, "I was so scared for you. I didn't even film it. I she showed me a recording. She was just recording the floor because she was just so to the monitor."
Is she okay? She just like fell through this big hole in the floor.
Yeah, she was way more scared than I was. I was like ready, and she was like, "Be careful, please."
I only have a little bit more time left with you, but I would be really upset with myself if I didn't ask you who the ghost is that turned your television on.
No, I was doing school on my dining room table, and I was alone. My mom had gone out like to the grocery store or something, and I just heard a noise, and I was like, "Is someone home?" Because I don't. And I'd waited like 2 minutes to see if maybe it was someone's like phone or something. And then I'd gone over there, and then I just saw that the TV was turned on, but like it was turned off, and nobody had been in the home for like 10 minutes.
Hmm.
No, not even 10 minutes. It had been like 30 minutes.
If you have more paranormal experiences, will you please come back and share them?
I will.
Awesome. Lastly, one more thing before we close up here. I wanted to ask you, is there any advice that you could give to people that are up and coming and want to get into acting as well?
It's a great question. I feel like never give up. It's gonna be, especially when you're first starting out, you're gonna get a lot of no's, and you need to tell yourself that you need to keep going, and you need to have faith. You have to have like confidence in yourself. Like I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna ace this audition, and I'm gonna do everything in my power and if this doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But you need to never give up. That's what you need to tell yourself. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs in the career, but it's you need to tell yourself that it's all going to work out in the end. And then if you keep doing that, then it will.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Antonella Rose. You have been a complete delight. Thank you for doing this. I
Thank
really
you so much for
appreciate it.
having me tonight.
I just want to tell you thank you so much. Peace and love, peace and love. Make sure you come back if you do have more ghost stories. And
Yes.
I can't wait for Terrifier 4. That's all I got to say.